lovers, you are welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Nurse MJ. I'm a nursing, lifestyle and travel content creator from Nigeria, currently practicing in the United Kingdom as a registered nurse, and I'm also licensed to practice in the United States as a registered nurse. On this channel, I share with you new, recent and reliable updates that I believe would be beneficial to my audience on a weekly basis. So if this sounds like the kind of content that you love to get updated on, make sure you click the subscribe button, join the family, and turn my notification bell on so you are the first to get notified when I do have a new video posted. Before we dive into the real update for today, I like to put this out there. I'm not an immigration officer. I am not a recruiter. It means I do not help people with visa applications, neither do I give people jobs. All I do is surf through the internet for reliable information, bring it down to the simplest form for you to understand, and I put it out there. So be very careful with individuals in the comment section pretending to be me or claiming to be my helpline. I do not work with anybody, neither do I have a helpline. If you would love to contact me directly, at the end of this video, I'll drop my contact links and address so you can reach me personally. Without wasting much of our time, let us get right into the main updates for today. Today, I bring recent updates from Nursing and Midwifery Council United Kingdom regarding their English language test requirements for internationally trained nurses and midwives. The one I'm particularly excited about is the fact that registered nurses and midwives who have narrowly missed the required band by 0.5 now stand the chance of getting a waiver from retaking the English language test. How amazing is that? This is a very great news, and there are also loads of other English test waivers that we'll be discussing in this video. So stay with me while I take you through the Nursing and Midwifery Council UK website. In case you don't know, and I honestly want to believe that you do know, to register as a nurse or midwife in the United Kingdom, joining the Nursing and Midwifery Council register, you need to meet certain requirements, and this includes the English test requirements. So this is a very, very common knowledge, but we'll be talking about the recent changes to this requirement. Over the past couple of years, the Nursing and Midwifery Council UK have been making different changes just to accommodate more candidates, because to be very honest, the English language is one criteria that seems to be like a major barrier to a lot of internationally trained nurses and midwives practicing in the United Kingdom. And considering the state of the healthcare sectors all around the world, nurses are needed. And I believe that it is unfair to hold a lot of people back, people who are trained, people who are learned, people who have the right experience to practice as nurses and midwives, to be held back just because of an English language test. It is really, really not so fair. So over the past years, a lot of individuals and organizations have come together to have a consultation with Nursing and Midwifery Council UK for them to be more flexible with this test requirement. And based on this, we've gotten a lot of changes to the test requirement. A lot of the changes that were introduced last year are already being implemented. So we'll look at the ones that are already been implemented, and we also look at the ones that are upcoming and would get implemented in the next couple of weeks. Just recently, I got a message from a candidate that currently sat the IELTS before and didn't make the requirement by just 0.5%. And from our update, she got an email directly from Nursing and Midwifery Council UK UK, informing her about certain changes that are coming up, which includes waiving the repeat of the English language test for individuals who have passed or who have narrowly missed the required band by 0.5%. If the required band is 7 and you heard 6.5, it means that you have narrowly missed the required band 7 by 0.5. Let me take you through the NMC website. Here is the Nursing and Midwifery Council website, and this update is from their past consultation on English language requirements, as you can see. So, and this happened in summer 2022. We consulted on our proposed changes and received a record of 34,000 responses from the public, professionals, employers, and our partners. This high level of engagement demonstrates just how important it is to people that we make the right changes. They have standardized the minimum test scores that they accept when combining scores across 2 sittings, and they have extended the period for combining test scores from 6 to 12 months. It's already been implemented. It's already ongoing. This other one, we have also started to accept supporting information from employers for applicants who trained in English in a country where English is not a majority spoken language and who have been working for at least 1 year in an unregulated role in a health and social care setting in the UK. Now, what this is talking about is for individuals who are already in the UK. For instance, for nurses, last year there are a lot of nurses that migrated to the UK as healthcare assistants, or maybe nursing associate, healthcare assistants, support workers, because of the difficulty in passing the English language test. This implies that if these individuals are still in the UK and they have practiced in that healthcare role, maybe as a social care worker or a support worker or as a healthcare assistant, they have practiced for about 12 months, they can request for a waiver, which is a supporting information from your employer. It is called SIFE. It is a supporting information that you get from your employers. However, there are certain conditions to this. And I remember I made a post and people were asking me, so Nigeria is an English-speaking country. Why are we still writing English language tests? Please note, Nigeria is not part of the recognized English-speaking countries. These are the list of English-speaking countries that you should look out for. If you are an individual on this list, from a country on this list, then you do not need to even be watching this video. You do not need to provide an English test requirement. Okay, it's only for individuals who have practiced in a country or who have trained in a country that is not a majority English speaker. The third one says, later in 2023, we'll begin accepting supporting information from employers for people who miss the required test score by no more than 0.5 in IELTS or have a grade in OET. We currently know that the required band for English language test, which is the International English Language Testing System, which is IELTS, is 7 in speaking, 7 in listening, 7 in reading, and 0.5 in writing. Now, what this information is talking about is that if you were required, the required band for, say, writing is 6.5 and you had 6, right? You had 6 instead of 6.5. You have narrowly missed that required band by 0.5 score, like 0.5. So now you'll be able to provide supporting information from your employer or from your institution to support you to back up your English test requirement. Okay, I just wanted to show you that this is recent. This is a recent update. If you look at the end of this page, you can see that this was last updated 02 2023. But why are we still talking about it? Because a lot of people have reached out to me. They are not sure about certain information. They have questions. And that's why I thought, you know what? Let us actually visit this properly. Okay, let us actually talk about this more in depth. Let me talk about the English test waiver for individuals or nurses and midwives registered and practiced in English. To demonstrate that you have practiced in English, you must provide us with evidence that you have recently practiced for 1 year as a nurse, midwife, or nursing associate in a country which is English speaking, majority English speaking country. You must have completed an English language assessment or examination as part of your registration as a nurse or midwife outside of the UK. This still applies to individuals who are in a majority English speaking country. That is for individuals who have registered and practiced in English. And let's go to the waiver for the individuals who have trained in English. And please note, this particular update has been ongoing since way back 2020. I think it's been implemented since 2020 because I have colleagues who came in as carers, healthcare assistants in the United Kingdom, and they were not able to practice as nurses. Over time, after they have worked for 12 months, they were able to get waiver from their line manager to present to Nursing and Midwifery Council UK, and they got the English test waiver. So they did not require to provide English test anymore. But please, let us go through the Nursing and Midwifery Council UK website to see what they have to talk about regarding this particular waiver. If you have completed a Nursing and Midwifery Council approved pre-registration nurse, midwife, or nursing associate program, we will accept this as evidence that you have the necessary knowledge of English. If you did not complete an NMC approved pre-registration program, we need to be satisfied that your program demonstrates that you have the necessary knowledge of English. Trained in English is the requirement that we are looking at now. So it means that your course needs to be recognized and approved by Nursing and Midwifery Council UK. So if you're a nurse, like I said earlier, if you're a nurse and you've migrated to the UK as a carer, you can actually get the English test waiver after 12 months of practicing in that role. In a country where English is a majority spoken language, if you completed your program in that country, you will need to provide evidence that your program meets the criteria set out in our guidance. If you completed your program in a country where English is not a majority spoken language, you can provide supporting information from your employer, SIFE, as supplementary evidence of clinical interaction in English with people who use services, the families, carers, and other healthcare professionals. Now, what do you need to provide to meet this requirement? You need to have worked in an unregulated role in one health or care setting in the UK for at least 12 months. At least 12 months full-time. 12-month full-time or full-time equivalent if working part-time. You've worked in an unregulated. What are unregulated roles? Unregulated roles, like I said earlier, is maybe you've worked as a carer, you've worked as an healthcare assistant, you've worked as a support worker. These are unregulated. They are considered unregulated roles because they do not have like a registration body, and you do not require a license to work as a healthcare assistant. Okay, so it is an unregulated role. So you need to have worked in that role for 12 months full-time. Or if you're working part-time, full-time equivalent hours you need to provide to meet up or to get a waiver for Nursing and Midwifery Council UK. Second requirement is that you had the same line manager for at least 6 months Yeah, and they said that we accept supporting information from up to 2 line managers to cover 12 months of full-time equivalent. Now, further information about your line manager is that your line manager, which is an NMC registrant, and what I mean by NMC registrant is that this your line manager is also on the Nursing and Midwifery Council register. They have a registration with Nursing and Midwifery Council UK. They have a PIN with Nursing and Midwifery Council UK. All right, and they will be asked to complete a form to confirm direct experience of your English language competence. Your line manager should be an NHS band 6 or non-NHS equivalent. So they are, it's only in NHS that we use the banding system. With private institutions, we do not use a banding system. But you need to get a non-NHS employer or a line manager that is equivalent to an NHS band 6 or above is accepted. So you can't get this information from a band 5. That is simply what they're telling you. So this form also needs to be countersigned by an NMC registrant, an NHS band 8A or non-NHS equivalent or above, to confirm the process has been fair and consistent. The second update now from the testing for the IELTS OET changes is that you now have an online provided combining calculator by NMC UK. Go to the NMC's website and you go under registration. You click joining the register. When you click on joining the register, you come down to English language requirements. And under the English language requirement, you can see all of the requirements for the English language. Click on the English language test. This might be slightly different if you're checking this up on your phone, right? You can see what is being required. And then you come to if you can combine your result, if your result is it's eligible for you combining it. And here you have the test combining calculator. Amazing. So now you don't need to start asking anybody, I have this result, I have that result, how can I combine it? You can do this with this test combining calculator. The test combining calculator will let you know what you have. What you have is your results. Are you able to use your results? Are you able to combine the two results? Using the test combining calculator, you can know this. And also using the NMC website, you can also interpret your results. So all you have to do is put the kind of test you've sat. Here you enter your scores for test 1, and this scores must be from a single test that you took within the last 2 years. So you choose whichever one you've sat. Is it IELTS or OET? So get interpretation for your results. This update is dated 26/05/2023. This is English language test calculator result. How you can translate your result. It's available as a PDF which you can download. So how to interpret this result? Your results will show as either green for a required score, yellow for a minimum score that you can only use for test combining, red for below a minimum score that you cannot use for test combining. To combine your test, you must have at least 1 green score in each section. If you have a red score in any section, you cannot combine that test. These are the updates and recent changes from the Nursing and Midwifery Council UK to the English language test requirements. I hope that I have been able to provide answers to some or most of your questions. If you've still got any question, please feel free to drop it in the comment section. Most of these updates have already been implemented, like I mentioned earlier. Some are upcoming, so it is best for you to subscribe to this channel so you do not miss out when I share the latest update. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.